During a gathering with my two childhood sweethearts, people asked us when we would get married. One person said it was still early. The other said they hadn't thought about it yet. But I told everyone that I would get married in November, and invited them to attend my wedding. Both friends looked at me in confusion, their eyes full of anger, and they pulled me aside to warn me not to force the marriage. In the past, they had never hidden their feelings for me, and had often argued over me, pressuring me to choose one of the two. But I had witnessed it with my own eyes. Taylor, who never attended parties, made an exception to appear for William. Olivia considered racing her life. No one could stop her. But now, a single word from William made her give it up. Such things had happened many times in the past month. And finally, I accepted the arranged marriage set up by my family. Michael, your parents arranged your marriage a long time ago. Now that your condition is better, do you want to return north to get married? If you don't want to, we will discuss canceling the engagement. In the dark room, only silence could be heard. When the person on the other end thought I would refuse as usual, I surprisingly spoke up. I agree to return and get married. My mother on the other end of the phone was stunned, seeming not to believe her ears. You agree? I replied in a calm voice. Yes, I agree. But I still need a little time to sort things out here. I will return in half a month. You can prepare the wedding first. After giving a few more instructions, I hung up. At that moment, the loud music from downstairs echoed up. Listening closely, I could hear the sound of the "Happy Birthday" song being sung. It was the party that Taylor and Olivia organized for William. Suddenly, there were footsteps outside the door. William smiled and walked in, holding a slice of cake. There were a few unusual streaks of cream on his delicate face. "Brother Michael, come down and hang out with me." I had long seen through his disguise. My tone was cold. "I still have work to do. I can't come down. You guys just enjoy yourselves." Immediately, William's eyes reddened. "Brother Michael, is it because you don't like me that you're refusing?" I frowned. Who had done anything? Who had touched him? Why did he keep acting as if I was bullying him? I inwardly laughed coldly, having no intention of listening to those fake words any longer. Save these tricks for Taylor and Olivia. I don't care. As soon as I finished speaking, I intended to close the door. "Brother Michael, don't." William suddenly stretched out his hand to block the doorframe. This action caused his entire hand to be clamped tightly. The back of his hand immediately turned bruised. Just then, Taylor and Olivia happened to walk upstairs. Seeing this, the two women rushed over almost simultaneously, heartbrokenly taking William's hand to carefully examine it. Looking at the wound on the back of William's hand, Olivia's eyes reddened. Naturally quick-tempered, she directly scolded me. "If you don't like William, fine. But why do you do such despicable things? Michael, since when did you become like this?" Taylor was usually quiet, but now looking at me, her deep eyes were filled with disappointment. "Michael, today is William's birthday. You shouldn't overdo things like this." But when she turned to look at William, she immediately changed her tone. "William, does it still hurt? Let me take you to put some medicine on it." Seeing Taylor lead William away, Olivia also ran after them. "William, don't be sad. I'll give you my new sports car. I'll take you for a drive after the party to cheer you up." Being wholeheartedly comforted by the two women, William's expression finally improved a little, and he said, "Thank you, Sister Taylor." After thanking Taylor, he turned to look at Olivia. With teary eyes he advised, "Olivia, don't race anymore. Racing is very dangerous. I worry about you a lot." Seeing William finally smile, Olivia quickly agreed. Okay, as long as you're happy. Anything you want." Watching their retreating figures going downstairs, I stood stunned at the door. In the past, the person standing between Taylor and Olivia was me. I had been weak since childhood, suffering from asthma. The wet and rainy weather in the north was not suitable for me. Therefore, at the age of 5, my parents sent me to the south to live with my aunt, a doctor, to recover my health. That was also when I met Taylor and Olivia, neighbors next to my aunt's house. The three of us grew up together, becoming childhood sweethearts. From the very first moment we met, the two of them clung tightly to me. When we were little, they always bought breakfast and milk for me, tore up every love letter I received, and didn't allow any girl to come near me. When we grew up, one became a famous female CEO. The other became an international-level race car driver. Despite being busy, they still bought 2 houses next to mine. Then knocked down the walls to live with me. They came home every day to cook for me, even when my condition improved. And my family urged me to return north. They still tearfully begged me not to go. If you go, we will also give up everything to follow you. Wherever you are, we will be there. Because of this, although my condition had been stable for a long time, I still hadn't returned home. However, since William appeared, everything changed. William was an intern I mentored. On his first day at the company, he was shy and didn't dare to come down to eat lunch with everyone. It was like that every day. Until I caught him eating steamed buns with pickled vegetables in the corner of the room. After asking, I learned that he came from a remote mountain area, had difficult circumstances, and was saving every penny he could. As the eldest son of the Charlotte family, I grew up in wealth from a young age. When I found out, I felt very sympathetic. And from then on, I always cared for and looked after him. Occasionally, when dining with Taylor and Olivia, I also brought him along. That's how William met the two of them. Taylor was originally cold, never attending noisy parties before, but made an exception for William. Olivia considered racing her life. No one could persuade her. But now just a gentle word from William was enough to make her give it up. Because I had decided to return to get married and had to quit my job here. I still wanted to finish the work at hand, trying not to cause trouble for anyone. I sat in front of the large window, handling the remaining work alone. Outside, the sun was setting, and the sky gradually darkened. I took off my headphones and stood up to stretch and relax. Finally, it was done. It was completely quiet downstairs. I unconsciously turned on my phone, wanting to relax for a bit. At this moment, William's message appeared. "Why didn't you like my post?" Just a minute later, he sent another one. "Sorry, brother Michael, I sent it by mistake. Please don't be angry." Curiously, I opened his personal page to check. What caught my eye was a series of photos of gifts from Taylor and Olivia. On William's wrist was an expensive Rolex, worth up to 6 figures. To match that Rolex, Taylor also gave him a diamond bracelet. And the red sports car was clearly a gift from Olivia. In the central photo, William stood between Taylor and Olivia, hugging the two women, smiling brightly with the caption, "Finally, today I get to be a prince for once." I knew William deliberately posted these things just to provoke me. If it were before, I really couldn't stand this green tea act. And even less could I stand Taylor and Olivia giving things that originally belonged only to me to William, someone they had only known for less than a month. But now, I was about to leave. So I didn't bother to care anymore. After returning home, I carefully sorted through all the shared photos of the 3 of us in the album. We had known each other for over 25 years and had taken countless photos together. Some were of Taylor and Olivia playing house with me when we were little. Some were of the 3 of us winning awards together in high school and college. I flipped through each page of memories, so profound that they seemed still present in my mind. But now, none of it mattered anymore. I burned each photo and threw them into the trash can. The flames consumed each picture, leaving only ashes. Taylor and Olivia returned, coincidentally witnessing the scene. After seeing clearly what I was doing, Taylor quickly strode over, her voice slightly trembling. "What are you doing?" I glanced at her, calmly saying, "Nothing. These photos got moldy, I have to burn them." Olivia instinctively lunged forward, wanting to snatch the remaining photos from my hand. But I deliberately swung my arm, tossing everything into the fire. The flames quickly flared up, not giving them a chance to save anything. Olivia tentatively reached out to pick up an unburned photo. But the temperature was too high, and she immediately pulled her hand back. She choked out, tears welling up. "Even if they're moldy, you don't have to burn them. Those are precious memories." Taylor also looked at the flames in distress, but could do nothing. Hearing this, I felt ridiculous. I was still alive and well here. Yet they hurt me over and over again because of William. Now, just because of a few photos, they were so heartbroken. I suddenly became curious. If they knew I had decided to go back and get married, I wondered how they would react. Looking at the 2 anxious women in front of me, I said calmly, "It's just a few photos. We can take new ones." Once they're all burned, the next time we travel, we'll take new photos. Taylor tried to compromise, and Olivia immediately followed up. Next time we go, let's bring William along. He's never traveled before. Hearing this from Olivia, I burst into self-deprecating laughter. They thought I had agreed, and immediately breathed a sigh of relief. But just as they were about to step inside, they saw a few suitcases placed in the living room. "What is this?" they asked in unison. I glanced over and replied indifferently. "Oh, I quit my job. I'm planning to look for a new one." My unusual behavior made both Taylor and Olivia feel uneasy. Olivia pursed her lips, about to ask something more. But the ringing of the phone broke the atmosphere. Taylor answered. William's anxious voice came from the other end. "Sister Taylor, the power suddenly went out at home. I fell. I think I sprained my ankle. What should I do now?" Hearing this, Olivia's face changed, and she quickly spoke up before Taylor could. "William, don't worry, I'm coming right now." Taylor frowned, her usually calm face suddenly showing clear anxiety. She quickly grabbed her car keys and left with Olivia. From start to finish, I maintained my calm demeanor. After they left, I called my aunt, the one who raised me from a young age. She treated me very well, considering me her own son. Now that I was about to leave, it was natural to say a proper goodbye to her. Hearing the news that I was returning to get married, her voice was both nostalgic and surprised. "Michael, do Taylor and Olivia know you're coming back to get married?" I paused for a moment then replied. "They don't know yet, Auntie. Please don't tell them either. I don't want any more trouble." The other end was silent for a while, then my aunt sighed. "Sigh, you've been their treasure since childhood. Anyone can tell those two like you. They always clung to you. I thought you would eventually choose one of them. What a pity." I gave a light laugh, replying calmly. "There's nothing to regret, because we weren't meant to be." My aunt muttered a few more sentences then hung up. Immediately after, another call came in. It was my director. "Michael, your previous design work won an award on behalf of the company. The trophy was just delivered. Since you resigned and haven't had a chance to receive it, I asked your intern to bring it to you." Just as he finished speaking, the doorbell rang. I hung up and opened the door, seeing William standing there holding the trophy in his arms. There was no sign of happiness for me on his face. Nor did he intend to hand over the trophy. Instead, he spoke in a pitiful voice. "Brother Michael, the director told me to bring the trophy to you. This award is very prestigious. You're really good. I'm so sorry, I've never won an award like this. Can you lend me this trophy for a few days?" I frowned, laughing coldly. "If you feel embarrassed, don't make such a request. If you truly like it, go compete for it yourself." Unexpectedly, my attitude was so cold. William's face turned pale, as if he had just been bullied. "Brother Michael, why do you talk like that? I'm not asking for it from you. I just want to keep it at home for motivation." Seeing me reach out to take it back, William hugged the trophy tightly, absolutely refusing to let go. In the struggle, the crystal trophy fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Just then, Taylor and Olivia returned. And seeing the scene, they rushed over. The two of them surrounded William, their faces full of fear, carefully checking if he was hurt. Taylor rolled up William's pant leg, seeing that his calf was bleeding. Her eyes narrowed, full of distress. "Let me take you to the hospital." Looking at the shattered glass pieces on the floor, Olivia's face darkened, and she gritted her teeth, asking, "Michael, you clearly have everything. Why are you still stealing William's things?" "Stealing?" Hearing these words, I was so angry that I laughed. This was my trophy, the result of 3 months of effort. My pride. But he hugged it tightly and refused to let go. So who stole from whom? I was so furious that my whole body trembled. Pointing at the fragments on the ground, my voice cold as ice. "Now he's broken my trophy. I want him to apologize." I thought my words were enough to explain who was right and who was wrong. But unexpectedly, Olivia became even angrier after hearing me. I thought it was something major. "It's just a trophy. You can have as many as you want. How can it compare to William? You hurt him. I don't think he should apologize to you. But you should apologize to him." Having said that, Olivia ignored my reaction and quickly chased after them to take care of William. Looking at the pile of fragments on the ground, I was stunned for a long time. Her words echoed in my mind. She actually asked me to apologize to William? Asking the victim to apologize to the perpetrator? Olivia, you are so kind. Afterwards, I realized that my foot had also been scratched a long time ago. Bleeding profusely. Even much more seriously than William's injury. I gritted my teeth and endured the pain. Cleaned up the fragments on the ground, and then treated my own wound. In the evening, I received a text message from my mother. She sent me over 10 photos of groom suits, telling me to choose the one I liked. I scrolled through them one by one before calling her. After a few minutes of talking, my mother noticed my voice sounded tired, and asked what had happened. Thinking of the unfairness of the day, I felt very frustrated but still said nothing, just changing the subject. Mom, I'll finish everything in about a week. How are the wedding preparations coming along? At this moment, Taylor and Olivia just returned home, and coincidentally overheard the last sentence. They both asked in unison. Wedding? What wedding? I hung up, trying to stay calm. My friend is getting married. What, do you two want to attend? Hearing me say that, Taylor and Olivia instinctively looked at each other, feeling a bit strange inside. But then they didn't think much of it, just casually replying, No, you go yourself, I'm busy. Having said that, they still seemed angry because William was injured today. Taylor grabbed some documents and coldly went into the study. Olivia frowned and said, William got hurt because of you today. You'd better go apologize to him. Otherwise, I won't be interested in attending the wedding with you. How ridiculous. Olivia wants me to apologize to William? Since when does the victim apologize to the one who caused the trouble? The next morning, I woke up to prepare breakfast. As soon as I stepped out, I found the entire living room filled with over 10 vases of fresh flowers, emitting a faint fragrance. My face instantly turned pale, and my breathing became increasingly ragged. I have asthma and am allergic to pollen. Gasping for air, I desperately tried to find my asthma inhaler. My trembling hand knocked over a vase, and flowers and broken ceramic scattered on the floor. Hearing the noise, Taylor and Olivia rushed over, their faces full of anger. What are you doing? Olivia quickly pushed me aside, bending down to pick up the flowers and fragments. My body was weak, and the hard push made my knee hit the corner of a cabinet, scratching it until it bled. I tremblingly opened the inhaler, sprayed it into my throat, and finally managed to take a breath. But while I was still struggling, Taylor questioned, Did you do this on purpose to William? He just gave us flowers. Why do you want to destroy them? Olivia also said coldly, Michael, I think you've changed too much lately, getting more and more out of line. Why have you become like this? Hearing this, I took a deep breath, my whole body trembling, both angry and sad. I wanted to say everything, but in the end, I just choked out a shout. Have I changed, or have you two changed? I have asthma and am allergic to pollen. Don't you know that? But each of those words was like a thunderbolt striking Taylor and Olivia's ears. In the past, every time I had an asthma attack, they were so worried that they skipped school to rush back, sitting by my bed with red eyes, caring for me attentively. Yet now, they had forgotten such an important detail. I don't know if they realized their mistake, but Taylor's face immediately turned pale, and a hint of guilt appeared on her cold face. Olivia also frowned, looking at me worriedly, recalling the times I had attacks before. Of course, she understood how much pain I was in, so she moved closer. Are you okay? I'm sorry, William put a lot of effort into these flowers. That's why I was so upset about them. I remained silent, not answering. After seeing my complexion gradually return to normal, Taylor and Olivia quickly took the flowers out of the house. For many days after that, they didn't come back. I didn't care either, just quietly packing my luggage. Initially, I bought this house. Then Taylor and Olivia bought the 2 houses next to it and knocked down the walls to connect them, forming the house as it is now. Therefore, now only 1/3 of the house belongs to me. Selling it would be quite complicated. A few days later, Taylor and Olivia finally returned, but coincidentally ran into the real estate agent who came to see me. Seeing a strange woman in the house, Taylor coldly asked, Who are you? What are you doing here? Facing the 2 pairs of intimidating eyes, the real estate agent was extremely nervous, but still hurriedly explained, Hello to both of you. I'm a real estate agent. The owner of this house said he wants to sell the house. Sell the house? Dash. Taylor and Olivia glanced at each other, surprise clearly visible in their eyes. Both immediately became serious, and were about to send the person away when I walked down the stairs. I'm the one who wants to sell the house. I was about to discuss this with you too. Hearing this, Taylor and Olivia were simultaneously worried, saying in unison, "Why do you want to sell? Aren't we living here just fine?" Olivia remembered the incident that day, seeming to understand the reason, and immediately asked directly, "Are you still angry about what happened the other day, right? We really didn't intentionally forget that you're allergic to pollen. Do you really have to be so extreme?" I calmly shook my head. "It has nothing to do with the previous incident. You two know I've resigned. And will change jobs. This place is no longer suitable." Taylor's face was gloomy, still refusing to give up. "If it's because of work, Olivia and I will follow you every day. You don't have to worry. We've lived together for many years. We're too familiar with each other. Why do we have to separate?" "That's right, with us here. Or at least we can arrange a driver to pick you up." "I don't agree to sell," Olivia said firmly. Seeing that I still couldn't convince them, I frowned, not understanding why they were so persistent. Finally, I played my trump card. "If so, let's sell this house first, and then buy a bigger one. Then we can welcome William to live with us." When they heard the name, William, their eyes lit up. Olivia couldn't resist this offer and spoke first. "If that's the case, then it's fine." Only Taylor remained pensive, looking at me with complicated eyes. "Michael, do you really want to welcome William to live with us?" For some reason, Taylor always felt that things were not as simple as she imagined. But before she could think clearly, I smiled faintly. "Of course, we are all friends." As soon as these words were spoken, Taylor and Olivia fell silent and didn't object anymore. With the family matter finally settled, I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. The pressure on my shoulders partially lifted. When signing the contract, I noticed that the day for the transfer procedures coincidentally coincided with my departure date. That worked out perfectly. I wouldn't have to explain much to Taylor and Olivia. The moment I signed my name, I felt a sense of relief. Now, only one last thing remained. I went to the shopping mall, carefully chose a massager and a pair of jade bracelets, and then went to my aunt's house. As soon as I entered the door, my aunt quickly hugged me. "I really can't bear to see you go. You've been here for so many years. I treat you like my own son. I really won't be used to it when you leave." My aunt wiped her tears while holding my hand tightly, not letting go. It wasn't until I had to leave, unable to linger any longer, that I reluctantly said goodbye. "Auntie, I have to go. I'm returning north to get married in 3 days." "Auntie." I held back my tears, nodding repeatedly. My aunt placed the gift she had prepared long ago into my hand. "I have 3 surgeries that day. Human life is the most important, so I can't go. This is from me. Michael, you must be happy." My eyes were red, and I respectfully accepted. "Auntie, don't worry, I will definitely be happy." At this moment, the elevator door opened. Taylor and Olivia stepped out, followed by William. As soon as they saw my red eyes, saying goodbye to Aunt Ben, their hearts sank, and they subconsciously blurted out, "Michael, Aunt Ben, why are you two crying?" Seeing them, I wiped my tears, calmly saying, "It's nothing. It's been a long time since I saw Auntie, and now I have to leave. So I'm a little nostalgic." Hearing this, Taylor and Olivia both sighed in relief, the heavy feeling in their hearts disappearing. After all, they lived close by. If they wanted to see each other, they could just visit. Aunt Ben saw that the two of them still didn't know anything, and wondered how they would react if they found out later. She seemed hesitant, about to speak, but I immediately changed the subject, directing the attention to William. "What are you guys doing?" Taylor and Olivia were slightly flustered, and hurriedly explained, "Today is a big occasion. William was lonely, so I brought him home with me." "Right, don't misunderstand. We called you too, but you didn't pick up." I didn't say anything more, just replied softly, "Yeah, I understand. It's okay. You guys carry on, I'll go back and pack." With that, I intended to walk out to my car, but they both called out, "Michael." I turned around. Seeing that I wasn't angry, they finally let out a sigh of relief. Then, Taylor took a few steps forward, holding my hand. You don't need to pack your luggage and tire yourself out. When the time comes, I'll call the driver. And we'll move to the new place together. Olivia also nodded in agreement. I glanced at William, shaking my head. No need, there are many things I have to handle myself. Having said that, I ignored their reactions, turned around, and left. When I got home, I packed my luggage. Just as I lay down, I received a call from William. His voice was slow, mixed with a hint of smugness. Brother Michael, tonight I went to the Miley and Selena families. Taylor and Olivia's parents are very good to me. They even brought out family heirlooms, saying they'll give them to me. What do you think, are they? I calmly interrupted his bragging. I'm not interested in your business. You don't need to tell me these things. They have nothing to do with me. As soon as I finished speaking, I immediately hung up. The day before leaving, I invited my best friend Peter out for dinner. I didn't have many friends. Because Taylor and Olivia always controlled my relationships. Not only did they not allow me to have a girlfriend, but they also forbade me from receiving love letters. And even making friends with other boys required careful selection. At that time, they would pretend to be pitiful, saying, Michael, aren't we enough for you? You're so good, I'm just afraid that even boys will like you. Their possessiveness was terrifying. But now, they were the ones who personally pushed me away. In a newly opened restaurant, Peter had been waiting for a long time. As soon as he saw me, he patted my shoulder. Michael, I didn't expect you to go back and get married so soon. I'm sad to see you go. I originally thought you would marry Taylor or Olivia. And then stay here forever. That way we could hang out together more often. Hearing this, I smiled faintly. They have their own choices. And so do I. Hearing that, Peter was a bit discouraged. When William was mentioned, his face immediately turned unpleasant, and he said angrily, You were so good to William before, but he... I smiled, cutting him off. Forget it, let's not mention those unimportant people anymore. I won't see him again after I get married. Whatever he does has nothing to do with me. Just as I finished speaking, William entered the restaurant and ran over. Brother Michael, who's getting married? Can I attend? I've never been to a wedding before. He was so tactless, but perhaps I had gotten used to his behavior. Besides, I was about to leave. So I wasn't angry, just smiling calmly with a cold laugh. On the contrary, Peter next to me was so angry that he slammed his knife and fork onto the table. Glaring at William. It's my wedding. You are not qualified to attend. Is that answer satisfying? I ask you, do you know how to keep your distance? Are we that close to you, that you're curious about everything? If a street vendor's cart passes by, do you also have to taste whether it's sweet or not? William looked stunned as if he was scared, bowing his head in grievance. Turning to look at Taylor and Olivia who had just walked in behind him. His eyes full of a pleading look. Taylor didn't bother to find out who was right or wrong. As soon as she saw William looking so pitiful, her face darkened, and she pulled him closer. As long as I'm here, you can attend any wedding you want. Olivia also added. Me too. Don't talk about just one wedding. If you want the stars in the sky, I'll pick them for you. Don't bother with people who aren't worth it. Peter was so angry at this scene that he stabbed his steak. But I remained calm as if nothing had happened. So he had to swallow his anger and said no more. That night, Taylor and Olivia didn't come home. I didn't care either, just busy finishing up my packing. The next morning, I heard footsteps outside the door. I knew they were back. Today was the day to move to the new house. Only they didn't know that their new house and future would not include me. The noise outside grew louder. They must be moving luggage. However, I ignored it all. After checking my luggage, I received a call from my mother. Michael, what time is your flight? Your parents will pick you up at the airport. I opened the app to check the ticket, then replied softly. I'll arrive around 7 p.m. Just then, the door was pushed open. I turned my head, seeing Taylor and Olivia standing at the door. Olivia casually asked, Who are you talking to? No one, I hung up, answering coldly. The distant tone stunned both of them. Since William appeared, I had become more and more distant from them. Taylor originally didn't intend to explain. But my change kept lingering in her mind, making her feel confused. She subconsciously spoke. Michael, William is not like you. His family background is not good. He has suffered a lot since he was little. So I couldn't help but help him. There's no other meaning. I maintained a calm demeanor. Why are you telling me this? The two replied in unison. Because you care. A cold glint flashed in my eyes. As if I was looking at two strangers. I don't care. Didn't you two just consider him a friend? I'm also your friend. So what is there for me to care about? For a moment, both of them were stunned. Unable to speak. Taylor was silent for a long time, finally unable to hold back. Michael, you know, what I want has never been just friendship. Olivia also couldn't contain her emotions. How have I treated you all these years? Michael, do you really think we are just friends? Of course, I knew what they were talking about, but I just nodded indifferently. Yes, and we will have a different relationship. Before long. They and I won't even be friends anymore, just strangers. My cryptic words made Taylor's heart pound. An inexplicable uneasiness. Just as she was about to speak, the driver walked in, wanting to take the luggage. I immediately stopped him. You guys go first, I'll bring my luggage myself. Hearing this, Olivia was annoyed. With so much stuff, how can you carry it all? Don't be angry anymore, it's my fault. I apologize, okay? I firmly refused. I really don't need it. You guys go help William. He lives alone, and he's injured, so it's inconvenient to move around. He's such a weak man. Can't carry things and can't do anything. He needs you more. Taylor heard the sarcasm in my words and frowned. Just then, William called. Taylor, Olivia, can you two come and help me? It's all my fault, I'm too clumsy. I can't do anything. Taylor hung up, then looked at me. William can't manage on his own. I'll go help him for a bit. Olivia also grabbed her car keys. I'll go over and lend a hand too. Before leaving the door, Taylor was still uneasy, turning back to instruct. Michael, maybe you don't want to hear it right now. But I've booked a restaurant. After moving, we'll have a meal together. As for William's matter, I'll explain it clearly to you later. Before I could answer, she rushed out the door. Looking at their retreating figures, I curved my lips into a faint smile. Explain later? What a pity, there is no later between us. At this moment, the phone vibrated continuously. A series of provocative messages from William came in. I'm so sorry, Michael. I didn't expect Taylor and Olivia to abandon you with just one word from me. From now on, the four of us will live together. I look forward to your care. I slightly curved my lips, replying, you guys just live happily. I won't be participating. The moment the message was successfully sent, I directly blocked all of William's contact information. Then Taylor's. And finally Olivia's. The list was systematically deleted. These three people would completely disappear from my world. Finally, I picked up my suitcase and walked out of the house filled with countless memories. And left without looking back. As the plane took off, I felt more relaxed than ever. However, the lakeside villa in Paris was extremely gloomy. 3 hours passed, Taylor and Olivia arrived at the villa with William. But my presence was nowhere to be seen. In the villa, there was only the luggage of the three of them. And my luggage was missing. Taylor was extremely anxious, an indescribable uneasiness in her heart. Olivia sat on the sofa, her face terrifyingly unpleasant. William knew the situation well, but didn't intend to say anything. Seeing the two of them still silent, he finally broke the silence. Maybe Brother Michael hasn't finished packing yet. Why don't we get ready first? We have a dinner appointment tonight. He definitely won't forget. Although Taylor nodded, her heart was still heavy. Olivia looked at her phone with dozens of bright red missed calls. Exactly the same as Taylor's. She quickly grabbed her jacket and strode out, leaving only one sentence. Something might have happened to Michael. Let me go back and see. Taylor couldn't sit still either. Quickly instructed the maid and looked apologetically at William. Sorry, I have to go see too. You wait here for a bit. I'll be right back. Taylor, Olivia. William called several times, but they still didn't look back. The old house was now empty. Nothing left. The two luxury cars drove all over the city, but still couldn't find any trace of me. Finally, both of them returned to the old house. Taylor's heart sank. She hurriedly called her assistant Rihanna to check my whereabouts. After a while, assistant Rihanna called back. Ms. Miley, Michael booked a flight back to California today. He should have arrived by now. Hearing this, Taylor and Olivia froze in place, as if struck by lightning. How can that be? Impossible. Olivia didn't want to believe the truth. How could Michael suddenly return to California? He promised to stay here with us. Assistant Rihanna, are you mistaken? Taylor also didn't believe it, her voice sinking. Assistant Rihanna. Check again. There must be some mistake. The other end was silent for a moment. Assistant Rihanna checked again and again, finally speaking tremblingly. Ms. Miley, Ms. Selena, it's not a mistake. Having said that, she sent the flight information to Taylor. The information was clearly recorded. It couldn't be faked. Taylor almost thought she was hallucinating, and hurriedly looked at Olivia next to her. The two looked at each other, their eyes filled with unbelievable shock. The phone slowly slipped from her hand, falling to the ground with a piercing sound. Both of their minds were extremely chaotic. They never expected that I would actually leave. Didn't I just talk about moving to a new house a few hours ago? At this moment, Olivia suddenly remembered the last words I said on the phone before leaving. Everything is ready, preparing for departure. I'll probably arrive tonight. Just then, William called. Olivia, Taylor, I'm waiting at the restaurant. We agreed to have dinner together to celebrate. Where are you two? Olivia held the phone, but didn't rush to answer. After a long time, she finally said hoarsely, William, we're a bit busy right now. Let's reschedule. Taylor silently looked at the shattered phone on the floor, with indescribable, complex emotions. Just then, the real estate agent from before came with a woman in a gray coat, introducing the advantages of the house. Seeing Taylor and Olivia there, the agent was slightly surprised. Ms. Miley, Ms. Selena? Why are you two here? Didn't this house already sell? The agent was worried, sticking her head in to see if all the luggage had been moved out. This house doesn't need to be sold anymore. I'll buy it back. Taylor didn't hesitate at all. The agent was surprised, thinking she misheard, and cautiously asked, Are you kidding me? Of course not. Sign the contract right away. Her voice was firm. Hearing the 3 words, sign the contract, the agent immediately smiled, nodding repeatedly. Okay, let me draft the contract for you right away. Just sign here and it's done. Taylor quickly scanned it, confirmed it was accurate, and signed decisively. Olivia didn't argue. She just needed the house not to fall into the hands of others. This house held too many memories. If I had moved to the lakeside villa with them, this place wouldn't have mattered. But now that I had left, they didn't want the memories to disappear too. Until late at night, both of them still sat silently on the old floor. The house was empty, everything had been moved out. Everything that belonged to me was gone. Taylor and Olivia suddenly felt incredibly lonely. Before, when I was by their side, they had countless things to say, always trying to make me happy. But now, with just the two of them facing each other, there was nothing left to talk about. William's phone kept ringing, but Olivia didn't answer. Until late at night, the temperature dropped more and more, and the two couldn't stand it anymore, so they returned to the lakeside villa. The moment the door opened, they saw William dozing off on the sofa. In the villa, the warm yellow light shone, but neither Taylor nor Olivia was in the mood to notice it. Why aren't you asleep yet? Olivia sighed, her voice tired, mixed with a hint of worry. She genuinely didn't have the emotional capacity to care about anyone else. Taylor walked straight to her room, leaving only a cold sentence. Go to sleep when it's time. No need to wait. William huddled on the soft sofa, his face full of surprise. Why is this? Taylor and Olivia were clearly very gentle with me before. Why are they so cold when I'm leaving? William paced back and forth outside their rooms. After a period of agonizing thought, he returned to his room and quickly deleted the messages that had provoked me. Taylor lay in bed, unable to sleep. Her mind was blank. Although they had been together for over 20 years, I had never told them my home address. She thought to herself, the Charlotte family is famous in high society. It's not hard to find the address. But he hid his intention to leave from the beginning. Did he not want me to find him? A heartbreaking pang flashed through Taylor's heart. Olivia couldn't sit still. She quickly called Aunt Ben, hoping to ask the reason why I had suddenly left without a word of farewell. The phone rang a few times before someone answered. Aunt Ben was on night duty, having just stepped out of the operating room. She hadn't even had time to take off her gloves. and had to ask an intern to hold the phone for her. "Hello, Olivia? What's wrong that you're calling Auntie at this hour?" Since childhood, the three of us grew up together. So Olivia and Taylor also considered Aunt Ben like their own aunt. "Auntie, do you know where Michael's house is? Why did he leave so suddenly? I want to find him." The other end was silent for a long time, then hesitantly said, "You two, don't know? Michael told me before that both of you knew about it." In that instant, both of them realized I had lied. But since Aunt Ben was my relative after all, she quickly corrected herself. Maybe I remembered wrong. Michael just said he wanted to go back to visit his parents. It's been many years since he saw them. Maybe he was busy and didn't have time to tell you. Aunt Ben tried to act calm. But those excuses couldn't convince Olivia. If he was just going back to visit his parents, why hide it from us? There must be something more important going on. Thinking this, Olivia grabbed her coat and ran out. But as soon as she stepped out of the villa, she saw Taylor already standing there. Seeing Olivia approach, she quickly said, "You're here. I've bought the earliest flight tickets to California. Let's go find him. More people, more hope." Without thinking, Olivia nodded. The two got into the car. Olivia drove fast, turning the sports car into a race car. Soon, they arrived at the airport, carrying no luggage, with only one thought in their minds: to rush to California and find me. As the plane was about to take off, dawn was just breaking. Both Taylor and Olivia sat there, their hearts restless, unable to calm down. At the same time, I also couldn't sleep. I woke up early and prepared my attire. Today was the day Luna and I were going to register our marriage. However, up until now, the number of times I had met her could be counted on one hand. My only memory of Luna was from when we were little. A cold little sister, but who liked to pinch my cheeks. Unexpectedly, the person I was marrying today was her. The one often mentioned by the elders of the Charlotte family. No matter who the spouse was, I still felt nervous on this important day. I looked in the mirror, checking my attire carefully. When the clock struck 9 o'clock, I stood up and, holding Luna's hand, got into the car to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. As if sensing my anxiety, she put a few candies in my hand. "If you're nervous, eating some candy will help." Her gentle, steady eyes almost made me lose myself. I unwrapped the candy and put it in my mouth, the sweetness melting, seeping deep into my heart. This arranged marriage seemed better than I thought. Everything happened quickly. When the stamp was pressed down, 2 bright red marriage certificates appeared. I almost thought I was dreaming. But just then, Michael, Taylor and Olivia ran in, panting. The bright red marriage certificate seemed to stab them in the eyes. "Michael, you got married?" Taylor's voice was hoarse, her face full of disbelief. I faced them calmly. Luna held my arm, nodding politely. "Hello, I am Michael's wife. My name is Luna." Her amber eyes swept over them, a hint of arrogance in her gaze. Taylor's voice trembled, while Olivia was agitated, questioning rapidly. But I was decisive. Enough. From the moment I left, there was nothing left between us. Luna snapped her fingers. A line of bodyguards appeared, firmly restraining Taylor and Olivia, and dragging them outside. "Don't let them have a chance to come back to this place." Her intention was also mine. I did not object, and even tacitly agreed. Olivia struggled, her eyes bloodshot. "Michael, you can't leave us. Let's go back to Paris. I'll treat you well. Can we be like before?" I coldly refused. "No, this place has my family, my parents, and Paris. I'm fed up with that place." Taylor suddenly smiled, then her expression turned cold. "Michael, I'll make you regret it. Then you'll have to come back and find us." I replied decisively. "No, I won't give you that chance." Luna signaled. The bodyguards immediately muffled Taylor and Olivia's mouths, tied their hands and feet, and threw them onto a helicopter. Luna was still a little worried about her newlywed husband, witnessing her strength unexpectedly. So she turned to look at me and said softly, "Michael, are you afraid of me like this? Do you feel like I'm too tough and not gentle at all?" Of course, I understood. Luna wouldn't be able to gain a foothold in the Charlotte family just with gentle gestures. However, she still didn't want me to see this side of her. I looked at Luna's face. And at that moment, The distance between us seemed to narrow significantly. Then I smiled and shook my head. Why would I be afraid? This method of handling is superb. Solving two troublesome problems. It's naturally the best thing. I never expected Taylor and Olivia to chase after me. In my mind, after I left, there would be no more barriers. And Taylor and Olivia could freely pursue William. The three of them were already living together. They would become a couple sooner or later. Especially since William also had this intention. I thought they must not be used to not having me around. Even a small dog that has been by your side for a few years is hard to let go of. Let alone people who have been together for over 20 years. It's normal not to be used to my sudden departure. But given enough time, any habit will gradually fade. On the helicopter, the noise also unsettled Taylor and Olivia's hearts. Just one step too late, and I was already married. Before, when they subtly expressed their feelings, I was extremely awkward, because I didn't want to hurt anyone. No matter who I chose, it would cause pain to the other person. That's why I didn't make a choice. Trying to maintain a friendly relationship. My feelings for both of them didn't seem to reach the stage of true love. Taylor and Olivia understood that too. They had the same thought in their hearts, not wanting to break the current relationship. So both of them decided to try and pressure me. Just then, William appeared. His ability to disguise was relatively poor. A little investigation would reveal that his family was not as poor as he claimed. William was born in a small mountain village, and his parents worked far away from home as laborers. Although his family wasn't wealthy, they still managed to put him through college, and even saved up for him to study painting and design. While in college, William changed his household registration to the school's location. After graduating, he borrowed a large sum of money from his family and completely cut off contact. Later, when he started working, he pretended to befriend me to take advantage. Taylor and Olivia only wanted to use him as a shield. To make me realize my true feelings. To make me jealous and choose one of the two. They had also promised each other that no matter who I chose, the other person would suppress all inappropriate feelings. And would only be normal friends from then on. But neither of them expected that I wouldn't choose anyone. Why did it turn out this way? Taylor and Olivia looked at each other, a hint of resentment swelling in their hearts. Why did they come up with such a foolish idea? If not, perhaps the three of us would still maintain our friendly relationship as before. Which would be better than now? Where even seeing each other's faces was difficult. The helicopter landed on the roof of the lakeside villa, and the two of them were unceremoniously thrown down by the bodyguards. Not long after, the helicopter took off again. Hearing the noise on the roof, William hurriedly ran up to check. Seeing Taylor and Olivia tied up, his eyes were teary, and he asked worriedly, "Are you two okay?" He quickly helped them untie the ropes. Taylor rubbed her bruised wrist, her expression cold, and walked straight downstairs without even looking at William. Olivia also walked down, her heart frustrated with nowhere to vent her anger. William brought 2 glasses of warm water and placed them in front of them. "Did you two just arrive in California? Did you find brother Michael? How is he?" He unconsciously grabbed his sleeve, feeling a bit nervous inside, comforting himself that their return in this state must mean things didn't go smoothly. Michael has a perfect family background, loving family and friends. He has everything. So he shouldn't need to compete with me to win over Taylor and Olivia anymore. William thought to himself. But externally, he maintained a gentle smile. Hearing these words, Taylor's eyes darkened, and she narrowed them, probing. "What did you say? We never told you that we went to California. How do you know? What exactly do you know?" Hearing this, Olivia also became serious, tightening her grip on William's arm, her tone sharp. "What did you do? Tell us, don't make us investigate. Did you say or do something to make Michael leave?" William was so frightened by them that his heart skipped a beat. But he still tried to appear pitiful. I didn't. He just once said he was in California. Now that he's not here, I thought he must have gone home. What, is he not there?" However, this time they were not easily moved. Taylor and Olivia were not fools. Before, they easily trusted him. Only because they were deceiving themselves. Only by deceiving themselves could they act to make me jealous. Therefore, no matter what William said, they would always side with him. But now, it was different. Olivia squeezed William's hand hard, leaving clear marks. Are you still not going to tell the truth? She threatened. Then she turned to look at Taylor. Taylor, it seems he needs to be taught a lesson. To be able to tell the truth. Taylor's expression was colder than ever. She tapped her finger lightly on the table, her tone even colder. Do you want to keep your current job? If you don't want to lose everything and have to return to your small village, you'd better confess everything truthfully. These words were like a death sentence to William. His tears no longer fell. His arms hung limply, looking at Taylor and Olivia with a confused expression. He didn't understand why the two of them had changed their attitudes so quickly. Before, as long as he acted pitiful, they were always more solicitous than anyone else. But now, all that remained was cold indifference. Even if he cried until his tears ran dry, they wouldn't be moved. William didn't dare to reveal his manipulative actions, only pursing his lips tightly, desperately pleading with Olivia. I didn't do anything. Can you two believe me? Brother Michael helped me so much. I'm still endlessly grateful to him. How could I treat him badly? If he is the one in your hearts, then I can move out. As he spoke, William tried to well up tears. Could it be that Brother Michael is unhappy because I moved in here? He suddenly disliked me before. I wonder if it's the same this time too. William still relentlessly tried to evoke pity. Olivia had always been the softer one. He could only rely on that, hoping she would be like before, and once again soften and overlook everything. As long as they temporarily didn't pursue the matter. When living under the same roof, he would always find a way to make them feel that he was the only one in their hearts. However, this time Olivia was no longer easily forgiving. She scoffed, a look of disdain flashing at the corner of her lips. You really won't shed a tear until you see the coffin, will you? Everyone who knows me knows that my temper is not as good as you imagine. As she spoke, she pressed William's head hard onto the table and used both hands to grip his neck. Taylor's voice also entered William's ears like a nightmare. William, your job is gone. I've already informed your family. They will be here in a few days. You'd better figure out how to deal with them first. No, don't let them come. I'll tell everything. The fear of being threatened was even greater than the pain of suffocating. William was so panicked that he almost went crazy. Hearing his answer, Olivia slowly loosened her hands. Speak. Cough, cough. William coughed violently a few times, gasping for air. I can show you my phone. As he spoke, he unlocked it and held it out. I didn't do anything. You two misunderstood. William inwardly breathed a sigh of relief. Because he had already deleted the messages challenging me earlier. Taylor didn't bother to take the phone. Just a glance was enough to guess that he still hadn't given up. And was continuing to hide things. Olivia immediately snatched the phone, calling someone to restore all the deleted data. Hearing Olivia make the call, William felt like the sky was falling, and quickly grabbed her arm, desperately begging, Don't restore the data. However, this time both Taylor and Olivia didn't give him another chance. They had given him too many chances. It was just a pity William didn't know how to cherish them. Taylor immediately had someone investigate everything he had done in the past few months that was related to me. The results quickly came back. From the moment he stepped into the company, William had targeted me, just by looking at my luxurious attire and dignified demeanor. He knew immediately that I came from a wealthy family. Therefore, he feigned pity in front of me, even hiring people to impersonate his parents to call and complain. I was naturally soft-hearted, so I fell for the trap. It wasn't until William met Taylor and Olivia that he realized how amazing my family background truly was. He had only seen people like Taylor in financial magazines. And Olivia was a famous female racer all over Paris. Her outfits had caused a stir everywhere. William was almost driven mad with jealousy. Because the people he could never reach were all clinging to me. William used every means to get close to me, taking advantage of me to establish a relationship with Taylor and Olivia. He never expected that they would easily take a liking to him, even being willing to abandon me for him time and time again. To prove their affection for him, William deliberately hurt his hand by clamping it, recounted his miserable life, broke my shirt button, and even intentionally gifted them flowers. Despite knowing I had asthma and was allergic to pollen, his malicious intentions were almost fully exposed. Perhaps he even regretted that I didn't die that day. The data on the phone was completely recovered, including the provocative message William sent on the exact day I left. Sorry, Michael, I didn't expect Taylor and Olivia to abandon you with just one word from me. From now on, the four of us will live together. I look forward to your care. This statement would infuriate anyone who heard it. Olivia was so angry that she slammed the phone right into William's face, gritting her teeth and saying, "How dare you say that to him? If it wasn't for him, would a person like you be worthy of our attention?" Taylor leaned back on the sofa, her eyes slightly closed, her lips moving. Throw all of William's things out, and call his family to come pick him up. She gave the command decisively. Assistant Rihanna immediately said yes, and quickly instructed people to clear out all of his belongings. William desperately fell to the ground, his eyes vacant, seeing his belongings being thrown out without mercy. He lunged forward desperately to stop them. He had only lived in this luxurious house for a few days. He hadn't even had time to enjoy it, and now it was all over. William knelt down, tears streaming down his face. It's over, everything is over. In despair, he still wanted to try one last time. William raised his phone, called Taylor's mother, and cried for help. "Auntie, Taylor wants to kick me out." Hearing that hoarse and aggrieved voice, Taylor's mother was so angry that she trembled. "William, you wait there, I'll be right over." She immediately hung up and rushed over as quickly as possible. Taylor glared at William, her face full of disgust. "Who do you think you are to dare falsely accuse me?" She couldn't restrain herself, her fingers gripping his chin, leaving bruises. But William still clutched the phone like a protective charm, refusing to let go. Olivia gently patted Taylor's shoulder, reassuring her. "It's okay, he's just a scoundrel. Aunt Miley is not easily fooled. She would never believe him over her own daughter." Hearing this, Taylor gradually calmed down and let go. When her mother walked in, before she could even open her mouth to scold, Taylor handed her the investigation documents. After reading them, her mother's face darkened, and she immediately rushed forward, grabbed William's hair, and slapped him hard. His cheek instantly swelled up and turned red. "Auntie, why are you treating me like this?" "Taylor, she fabricated this to cover up what she did to me." "Enough," Taylor's mother interrupted coldly. Her eyes were as sharp as her daughter's. "I know my daughter best. I'm experienced, so how could I not distinguish right from wrong? Based on what you've done, Michael might forgive you, but the Miley and Selena families won't." She called Mrs. Selena over. After hearing everything, Mrs. Selena was furious, directly grabbing William's shirt and pushing his head into the lake water. The water current wasn't strong, but it was enough to make him choke repeatedly, coughing, with water getting into his windpipe. After a while, she pulled him up, gritting her teeth and saying, "Can you feel Michael's despair when he almost couldn't breathe? He could have lived with just a little effort, yet he was helpless." With that, she threw him to the ground, and even dusted off her hands as if touching something filthy. Olivia mocked coldly. "Taylor, how can anyone pursue another person? By making their own man jealous before realizing their feelings? How foolish. No wonder Michael chose someone else and not you too." This time, Mrs. Selena truly had no intention of defending her daughter. Mrs. Miley also agreed with that view, just nodding slightly. In this matter, the two of them were completely wrong. Michael is married, you two shouldn't bother him anymore. Taylor and Olivia bit their lips, stubbornly refusing to bow their heads. They were never people who gave up easily. If they weren't so persistent, how could they have achieved the success they have today? The competition in the business world, the efforts on the racing track, all demonstrated their perseverance and tenacity. Mrs. Miley and Mrs. Selena looked at each other, sighing helplessly. They understood their daughters' personalities, and could do nothing but leave together. After the two women left, Taylor immediately instructed people to throw William and all his luggage and belongings out onto the street, without any mercy. The patrolling city management staff quickly waved their hands. "No homeless people are allowed to sleep here. Hurry up and leave." The three words, "homeless person," were like a knife piercing William's heart. He never thought that he would one day fall into such a predicament. His luggage was carelessly thrown around. Anyone who didn't know would think it was a pile of trash. William angrily kicked the suitcase hard, causing his belongings to scatter, looking even more like refuse. Just then, his phone rang. For a moment, he thought that Taylor or Olivia had regretted it and were calling to salvage the situation. But no. An aggressive man's voice came from the other end of the line. "We finally got a hold of you. Who gave you the guts to take all your parents' money like that? I heard you've earned quite a bit lately. Hurry up and pay back my money." It was William's father. If they weren't talking on the phone, he probably would have rushed over and given him a good beating. William panicked and hung up, trembling and not daring to breathe. He wanted to leave immediately, but then remembered he had already returned the previous rental room, and the lakeside villa was impossible to return to. Now, he truly had nowhere to go. Thinking of this, William sat down on the ground in despair. The city management staff frowned and walked over to chase him away again. "Sitting here affects the city's appearance. Leave immediately." The cold words stung William's heart. He gritted his teeth and snapped back. "All right, I'm leaving right now." He called a moving truck, piling his belongings onto it. But the driver waited for a long time without him giving an address, and became impatient. "Where do you finally want to go?" After a long time, William reluctantly read out the address of his old rental room. Fortunately, only a few days had passed, and the room hadn't been rented out to someone else yet. As soon as he returned to that place, the first sight that met his eyes was his whole family waiting right outside the gate. Their clothes were a bit rustic but quite clean and tidy. A feeling of disgust surged in William's heart. So his attitude was equally poor. He intended to tell the driver to leave, but his parents quickly blocked the way, shouting loudly, "William, give us back our money." His parents, a few children, and his younger brother rushed forward, rummaging through his belongings. Anything worthless was thrown haphazardly onto the ground, while expensive perfumes and clothes were stuffed into plastic bags. "Give that back, that's mine, you're not allowed to take it." Although William struggled desperately, he couldn't fight against the many hands grabbing things. The luggage was torn apart, belongings scattered everywhere, and curious passers-by gathered, pointing fingers. But his family wasn't ashamed. They even shouted loudly, "He stole all of the family's savings. What's wrong with us taking a few things?" Not only that, they shamelessly stayed, forcing William to cook, do laundry, and clean. If he didn't comply, they threatened to expose all the bad things he had done to the entire neighborhood. William didn't want to lose face, so he had to grit his teeth and endure it. But that still wasn't enough to quell the anger in their hearts. His parents also urged him to go out and work to earn money. Looking for a job during the day, doing chores at night, and being scolded in just a few days. He looked haggard, as if he had aged a decade. His face was pale, his steps were unsteady, and his mind was almost going insane. With no other choice, William turned to Taylor and Olivia, begging for forgiveness. He knelt in front of the lakeside villa door, wailing, "Ms. Miley, Ms. Selena, I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I shouldn't have harmed Michael. I know my mistake, please forgive me." But the villa inside was silent. In fact, Taylor and Olivia had moved back to the old house. Even when the two of them weren't there, the guard still called to report the situation. Taylor's cold voice came over the phone. "Don't pay attention to him. Just let him kneel, he'll leave on his own when he's tired of it." William knelt for an entire day and night, finally passing out. When he woke up, he found himself lying in the old, dilapidated rental room. And outside, he heard his parents' voices. "All right, let's go back to the countryside today. He won't listen, he'll run away if he has legs. Let's take advantage of him still being unconscious and leave." William bolted up in a panic, rushing outside. He didn't even have time to put on his shoes, only managed to grab his phone. In his despair, he remembered me. That's right, he's very kind-hearted, easily moved. He'll definitely forgive me. He immediately got on a high-speed train to find me. But Taylor and Olivia quickly sent people to intercept him, absolutely preventing him from having a chance to meet me. Also during this time, they discovered that the group of people secretly watching nearby was sent by Luna. This was their territory, so naturally, they had to take action. Olivia led people to attack the other group, intimidated them, and then sent them back to the Parker family's house. Taylor also didn't let it go, and even planted her own people in California to prepare for the next time. Today, it was the 5th time Taylor and Olivia had come to see Aunt Ben. "Auntie, We genuinely know we were wrong. We've let go of Michael. We just want to attend his wedding as his sisters. That's all." These words, which went against their hearts, made Olivia also nod repeatedly, trying to appear innocent. "Auntie, please help us fulfill this small wish. After all, we've known each other for many years. Can't we even attend the wedding? It's okay if we can't be together. We're mentally prepared. But at least, please give us a chance to attend Michael's wedding." Aunt Ben looked at them, feeling conflicted. Even though she knew about the past, she had watched the two of them grow up since they were little. After many pleas, she finally softened, sighing. "All right, I can only ask Michael for you. But I can't guarantee whether he'll agree." Hearing this, Taylor and Olivia immediately thanked her profusely. "Just your willingness to speak up is enough. Sorry for bothering you." After seeing them off, Aunt Ben texted me. "Michael, Taylor and Olivia want to attend your wedding. Do you want to let them come?" Just then, I was trying on my wedding attire. The phone rang many times, but I was busy arranging clothes and hadn't checked it yet. I immediately called out, "Luna, check the message for me." Luna was wearing a fitted white wedding dress without a train. Neat but still highlighting her attractive figure. She took my phone, unlocked it, and read Aunt Ben's message. She was silent for a moment, then spoke in a loud voice. "Michael, Taylor and Olivia want to attend the wedding. Saying they want to attend your wedding. Do you think you should let them come?" Luna's eyes darkened, her tone carrying a hint of jealousy. "Michael, what do you think? Do you want them to attend our wedding?" Luna took a few more steps, standing behind me. I waved the costume girl next to me away, and she personally helped me adjust my sleeve. Her soft, fair fingers brushed past my wrist, creating an indescribable, subtle sensation. "Luna, perhaps we shouldn't let them attend." I stared at her serious face and said. Luna smiled lightly, wrapping her arms around my waist, resting her head on my chest. "Michael, trust me. Trust your wife's capabilities. Even if they attend our wedding, they won't be able to cause any trouble." My heart pounded, inhaling the sweet fragrance of the hair of the person in front of me. Staring blankly into the mirror, I didn't realize my face had turned red. Completely unable to hear clearly what Luna was saying, I just casually nodded. All right." I felt like I was about to turn as red as a boiled shrimp, my heart uncontrollably pounding. However, the woman behind me seemed to have noticed my embarrassment, the gentle smile on her face becoming even clearer. "Michael, look, you look very handsome in the mirror." She deliberately teased me, making me even more flustered. Darting my eyes everywhere, not daring to look directly at her. I didn't even pay attention to the phone in my hand, allowing Luna to take my fingers, guiding me to reply to Aunt Ben's message. Yes. Only when I fully regained my senses did I realize that Luna had been jealous just now. An incredible thought popped into my head. Could Luna have feelings for me? I quickly covered my blushing face, unable to believe this. No way, we had only been together for a few days. How could feelings develop so easily? Since we were husband and wife now, jealousy was understandable. I tried to keep my mind clear. After trying on the vest and confirming the necessary adjustments, I fully immersed myself back in work. Seeing me so serious, Luna said nothing, just silently adjusting the lights, and only quietly left after confirming the lighting was suitable. Luna specifically instructed her subordinates to relax their vigilance against Taylor and Olivia. It wasn't that she was careless, but that she deliberately let them take advantage of the opportunity, so that she could be prepared and ready in advance. Her subordinates received the order and immediately carried it out. At this time, Luna also deliberately informed my parents that Taylor and Olivia were coming to California. What, they treated Michael like that and still want to attend the wedding? My mother was extremely angry when she heard the news. If before, she had praised Taylor and Olivia endlessly, even considering them as daughters-in-law, now she absolutely could not accept them joking with my life. Even if those two intentionally used this method to make me realize my true feelings, my mother would never agree. At this moment, she only felt fortunate that she had chosen such a good marriage for me. Compared to Taylor and Olivia, Luna was 1,000 times better. At least she was devoted to me, and my mother had watched her grow up and understood her character very well. My parents quickly expressed their displeasure with Taylor and Olivia. The Charlotte family is a prestigious family in California. Not to mention that they were now connected by marriage to the Parker family. And both families were prospering. To befriend the Charlotte family, other families also quickly expressed their stance. Seeing this, my parents further refused to let the security guards allow those two inside. As soon as Taylor and Olivia arrived in California, they were met with the cold shoulder from the local upper class. Being blocked and unable to contact me, they had to ask Aunt Ben for my parents' phone numbers. Taylor and Olivia each called one person, trying to explain everything that had happened. "Uncle, I'm Taylor. I want to apologize to you and Michael about." Before she could finish her sentence, she was hung up on. Olivia's situation was no better. The phone only made beeping sounds, then was cut off. Using other phone numbers to call yielded the same result. With no other choice, Taylor and Olivia could only go to the Charlotte family villa, trying to find an opportunity to see me. However, they waited outside for nearly a day without seeing any sign of me. Until evening, a black Rolls-Royce slowly drove in. As soon as they saw me, they quickly ran to block the car. "Michael, get out of the car. We need to talk." Seeing the two people I didn't want to meet, I frowned slightly, unconsciously looking towards Luna, worried that she would be jealous. But Luna noticed my expression and smiled, taking my hand, her tone gentle. "Let's get out of the car together." In front of Taylor and Olivia, I held Luna's hand and stepped out, my eyes a little wary. Facing that gaze, Olivia felt hurt. "Michael, we are childhood friends. Why are you looking at me like that?" I frowned, not wanting to waste words on them. Moreover, they were the ones who chose to abandon this relationship. Calmly, I said, "No need to say much. I still have to go home." "Say what you want to say quickly." Hearing this, Olivia was about to speak, but Taylor cut her off. "Michael, before, it was our fault. We completely didn't like William. We just wanted to use him to make you jealous. To see who you truly like more in your heart. But we didn't expect." Taylor recounted William's outcome and explained the reason why they had done those things to me. When I heard that William wanted to come to California to beg for help, there was still resistance in my heart. I couldn't understand why he could so heartlessly harm me, and then turn around and beg me for help. Finally, Taylor's people had sent William back to his parents. They left Paris and returned to their old hometown together. He had paid the price for what he had done. I could imagine how difficult William's life would be in the future. Before, he always complained about the hardships, and I helped him wholeheartedly. But after knowing the whole truth, I couldn't sympathize anymore. However, I still couldn't accept Taylor and Olivia's excuses. I just gave a contemptuous smile and coldly replied, "Taylor, Olivia, don't deceive yourselves anymore. There were many ways to help me realize my feelings. Why did you choose the way that hurt me the most? Are you sure that since you met William, you haven't had any feelings for him at all?" Taylor paused, her face showing obvious confusion and ambiguity. Olivia also showed an unnatural expression, feeling a little guilty inside. "No, of course not," she answered hesitantly. At this moment, Luna resolutely exposed their cover-up. "Enough, don't deceive yourselves anymore. If it wasn't for your repeated indifference towards Michael, William wouldn't have had the opportunity to hurt him. I'm only afraid that even now, you still can't distinguish whether you ever had a momentary crush on him. Only children believe these lies. No woman who truly loves a man would use another man to make him jealous." Luna's words were like knives, piercing the truth in their hearts, making Taylor and Olivia's faces grow paler and paler. They had no words left to refute. I remained silent for a long time, finally speaking slowly. "Taylor, Olivia, now I realize that perhaps I never loved you. I may have had a moment of infatuation, but that was still not love. That feeling hadn't had a chance to grow into love before it was extinguished by you." I spoke it all out, and my heart felt lighter than ever. "If you want to attend my wedding, I agree. It's just, I don't want you to ruin my big day. I am very happy now." Taylor's heart ached with waves of pain. She gently shook her head, forcing a smile as she looked at me. "Michael, don't be with anyone else. We are childhood sweethearts. I understand everything about you. We are a match made in heaven." She stubbornly mumbled, still refusing to accept this reality. Olivia's eyes were bloodshot, her hand clenched into a fist. and she impulsively swung a slap towards Luna. Why her? I don't accept this. Michael, as long as you don't want to get married, I'll take you away. We can go abroad. Or go back to Paris. If you wanted, anything is possible. Luna could clearly have easily avoided the slap. But she only slightly tilted her face, letting Olivia's hand brush past, leaving a red mark. Luna reached up to touch her cheek, letting out a small groan. Her face contorted in pain. Despite that, her beauty was not diminished. Seeing her injured, my heart was torn. I grabbed her hand, wanting to check the red mark. It's okay, I don't hurt at all. Luna forced a smile. Seeing that, I became even more worried. Turning angrily towards Olivia, questioning her coldly. Why did you attack her? Since when did you become so impulsive and irritable? My reproach was like a heavy pressure, almost driving Olivia mad. She didn't expect me to completely disregard what she had just said. In my heart, there was only Luna. She clearly only used a little force just now, whether she hit or not. She knew clearly. She was unexpectedly framed like this, furious to the point of insanity. I didn't hit her at all. She's not injured at all. Michael, come with me, she's not a good person, she said, tightly gripping my arm. But I didn't hesitate to forcefully shake Olivia's hand off. This is the Charlotte family home. It's my home. I won't go with you. I can't believe you hit someone and then wouldn't admit it. Taylor, Olivia, we are no longer friends. You are not welcome at the wedding either. After all, you're not sincerely here to attend. With that, I took Luna's hand and walked straight into the villa. A few Charlotte family security guards quickly blocked Taylor and Olivia, preventing them from entering. They stubbornly stood outside the gate until late at night. Finally, my parents came out to chase them away. Miss Miley, Miss Selena, please leave. The Charlotte family does not welcome you. We also cannot entrust Michael to people like you. After all, who can guarantee that another William won't appear? You two are also very talented. Don't be so fixated on Michael anymore. My mother advised gently, while my father stood beside her solemnly, silently supporting her. Taylor's eyes were bloodshot, her usually beautiful face now haggard. Olivia was no better, having completely lost her arrogance. Seeing them so stubborn, my parents could only shake their heads, and finally let the bodyguards escort them away. They wanted to prove that their love was genuine. But after the lesson with William, no one was easily convinced anymore. Taylor and Olivia looked at each other, their eyes clearly showing confusion and weakness. If they just gave up like this, what was the love they had persisted in for over 20 years for? All those years of feelings. Could they really not compare to someone newly met for just a few weeks? Thinking of that, a flame of determination ignited in both their eyes. They said in unison, "Let's cooperate, the best person wins." Without needing discussion, they already knew what needed to be done. Olivia asked her mother and Taylor's mother to find old photos, preserving the memories of the past 20+ years. Unfortunately, not many shared photos remained. Most had been burned by me. Mostly only a few pictures from when we were little were left. But even that was better than nothing. Taylor, meanwhile, tried to plant people within the Charlotte family, or bribe relatives. There were only 3 days left until the wedding, and they still had a lot of preparations to make. On my side, I was also stressed. Although I didn't intend to continue associating with them, Taylor and Olivia kept coming back time and time again. Luna, is there any way to put a definitive end to this? I don't want to be bothered anymore. I've decided to cut off contact. I no longer want to be entangled, and even being friends is impossible. Having had that time together in childhood is already a beautiful memory. No matter how beautiful, it should end there. Luna understood what I was thinking, and gently comforted me. Don't worry, I've prepared everything. After the wedding, they won't appear in front of us anymore. I tried to remain calm, trying to trust Luna. On the wedding day, a grand ceremony was held on the green lawn. The entire manor was filled with romantic pink hues. Thousands of flowers were hand-woven, arranged into various shapes. Because of my asthma and pollen allergy, they specially prepared hand-woven flowers, so exquisite that hardly anyone would suspect. Guests gathered in full attendance, including Taylor and Olivia. However, when everyone was present, the bride and groom still hadn't entered the aisle. Taylor and Olivia fleetingly thought that I had changed my mind and was preparing to run away. But what happened next was completely beyond their prediction. I used the latest technology to create 3D images of Luna and me, replacing us to complete the ceremony. Their plan to disrupt the wedding had absolutely no chance of being executed. They kept looking around, but I was completely absent from the ceremony. The host spoke loudly. Please invite the newlyweds to exchange rings, and the groom to kiss the bride. The two 3D images began to exchange rings. Just then, the provocative video that Taylor and Olivia had meticulously prepared was replaced by blessings from everyone sent to our wedding. Immediately after, the live broadcast officially began. The true wedding ceremony of Luna and me took place in a solemn atmosphere. We held a traditional wedding at the Royal Mansion in California. The magnificent villa, intricately carved, was adorned with bright red silk. The joyful sound of musical instruments rang out, and a festive atmosphere spread everywhere. Under the gaze of all the guests, I wore traditional wedding attire, riding forward on a horse. Behind was the wedding procession, the rhythm of drums and gongs harmonizing, accompanied by countless gold coins and sweets being scattered. The crowd jostled to pick them up, shouting blessings and laughing joyfully. Even the guests in the manor were given sweets and gold coins. The extravagance was enough to astound everyone. Taylor and Olivia watched the live stream showing the wedding procession stopping. I gently dismounted, helped Luna step out of the car, and with steady steps, led her inside. Meanwhile, Taylor was so angry she bit her lip until it bled, her eyes red. Olivia furiously slammed her hand on the table, quickly standing up, ignoring Taylor behind her. She immediately drove her sports car, speeding straight towards the location. She no longer cared about the initial plan to disrupt the wedding. In her mind, there was only one thought: she had to see me. However, along the way, while losing control of the steering wheel, Olivia's car was violently hit from the side by another car. The loud, harsh sound of the collision echoed. The car body was warped, her leg was firmly trapped, and warm blood streamed from her forehead down her cheek. The feeling of numbness made her almost despair. In that moment, Olivia instinctively pressed to call me, but had forgotten that all communication between me and her had been completely deleted. As expected, the call failed. Behind her, Taylor was following, and witnessed the scene with her own eyes. Stuck between two choices: continue to disrupt the wedding or save her friend. She finally rushed forward, pulled Olivia out of the car, and took her straight to the hospital. My wedding ended perfectly, but Taylor was haggard after just one day, and Olivia was lucky to survive. But her legs were still in surgery. It was unclear if she would ever recover. The promise made to William years ago about not racing anymore now became a bitter truth. No matter what, Olivia could never race again. In the hospital, Taylor quietly looked at her phone screen, staring at Luna's photo. The anger in her heart flared up intensely. It must be her. Luna definitely did this. Thinking this, she ignored Mrs. Miley and Mrs. Selena's attempts to stop her, and hurriedly left the hospital. At the same time, I was enjoying the first day after the wedding with Luna. In the bridal chamber, soft sunlight streamed through the window. Everything was quiet. Suddenly, a frantic knocking at the door shattered the peace. Luna frowned, quickly putting on a robe and walking out to open the door. As the door cracked open, Taylor's fist unexpectedly flew toward her. Luna managed to dodge to the side, firmly grabbing her wrist. "Taylor, what are you doing?" In front of her was a haggard Taylor, hair disheveled, with dark circles under her eyes. For the first time, she appeared in such a state of chaos. Her voice was hoarse and cold as ice. "Luna, wasn't stealing our Michael enough? Why did you send someone to crash Olivia's car? Now she's in the hospital. It's unknown if she'll be able to keep her legs. You will pay for this." Saying that, Taylor lunged to attack. Luna calmly fended off each blow, dodging while hissing, "Taylor, I don't need to use such despicable tactics. I only arranged for people to bring you back, so that the Selena and Miley families would have something to worry about, and no longer have time to interfere in my and Michael's matters. Stop hitting." I hurriedly stopped the two of them, stating clearly, "Enough, I trust Luna. We will talk with evidence." Hearing my voice, Taylor finally calmed down. Not long after, the Parker family announced the investigation results. The car that hit Olivia had brake failure. It was just an unintentional accident, completely unrelated to Luna. just as Luna had said. She only arranged for people to restrain Taylor and Olivia if they intended to disrupt the wedding and bring them back to Paris. Simultaneously, the attack targeting the Selena and Miley families in Paris had begun. Mrs. Miley repeatedly called Taylor, urging her to return. Even Olivia was brought back to Paris for treatment. Before the marriage, Luna had established a new company in Paris, preparing to confront the Miley family. The Charlotte family itself also had considerable influence. And when joining forces with the Parker family, they quickly began to suppress the Miley and Selena families. When Olivia woke up and found her legs in casts, she was almost driven mad. Taylor sat by the bed, saying coldly, "Your leg is fine, it can still be saved. Just need physical therapy and persistent training. But after this, don't think about racing anymore." Hearing this, Olivia couldn't accept it. She could voluntarily give up, but she was unwilling to be forced to stop. After many months, her leg recovered, and she could walk normally. However, as soon as she sat in the driver's seat, before she could even start the car, her whole body trembled, and cold sweat poured out. The feeling of being close to death rushed in, and the psychological shadow still heavily haunted her. Not just racing, she couldn't even drive a normal car. Tiredly stepping out, completely soaked as if she had been pulled out of the water. Olivia palely looked at Taylor, her voice hoarse. "Why are you still here with me? Have you accepted giving up on Michael?" Taylor looked into the distance, her eyes vacant, just sighing. "If I don't give up, what else can I do?" During Olivia's recovery time, she wrote letters to me many times, recounting the happy memories of our childhood, hoping I would remember. But I never replied. Instead, I told Luna everything. We were always honest with each other. So she wasn't jealous of those trivial matters. Taylor finally clearly understood the feelings I had for Luna. It couldn't be hidden even in my eyes. That kind of love was completely different from anything I had ever felt for them. She had no choice but to give up, even if she was unwilling. She couldn't change it. Listening to Taylor, Olivia seemed to lose all hope. Now she had become a cripple. Not even equal to Taylor. How could she compare to Luna? From then on, the two silently returned home, each finding a way to fill the void. Through work and personal endeavors, Taylor poured all her energy into business. So busy that she no longer had time to think about me. And Olivia struggled against the psychological shadow. Unintentionally, the number of times they saw each other gradually decreased, to the point where they had nothing left to say. The three of us, once intimately connected, now quietly separated, each going our own way.